AI companies in OpenTTD can be clever, but they're often quirky and just plain dangerous. But what happens when their disasters turn deadly? Well, today we're finding out which AI runs the most dangerous transport company in OpenTTD. Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome back to my AI Battles, where we pit automated companies against each other to see who comes out on top. But this time, it's not about money making or expanding the fastest. We've installed a special script to keep track of every single passenger casualty in the game. By the end of this battle, we will be able to reveal which AI has the worst safety record of their network. So here's our world for our disastrous AI battle. It's a pretty standard world with towns and industries, and we're not using any new GRFs. But let's get our AIs in and see what they get up to. Okay, a plethora of transport companies are being launched. And if you want to know what AIs I'm using for this game, they will be on the screen now. You can see all of the companies are coming in and assigning themselves various different places to get their companies started. Now, I don't expect any disasters right away, but you never know. I can see some of the AIs have started with aircraft, and aircraft have, well, notoriously bad safety records. That could be a problem for those companies. Not Perfect AI is just putting in some railway. Not quite sure where it thinks it's going. That's a terrible placement for the town, but you know what? It's not about the profit. Is that going to cause any accidents? Are they going to have any train crashes? Will any people perish? Some more tracks have been put in place over here, shifting some cargo around. We have our first potential problem. Rail crossings with trucks going across them could be a potential for accidents in the future if this road gets particularly busy. Taking a look at this, we can see that the Trains AI has built the railway, and we can see Kraken has built the road. In this instance, if a train collides with a vehicle, whose fault is it? Is it Kraken? Or is it Trains AI? Well, never mind who the fault is, it's the one with the worst safety record that we're looking at today. And when it comes to safety record, it's not the causes of the crash, it's how many fatalities you have. So, looking at the global goals, our custom script shows you how many victims there's been in the crashes for each company. And as you can see at the moment, everybody's got a flawless track record. Now this is looking a little bit more promising. Here we've got some track and some road. The track is owned by Choo Choo, and the road is owned by Snake. Snake has done a good job of going over the railway line and not putting its trucks at risk. Oh, and we have our first fatalities. We have a plane crash at an airport that's owned by Admiral AI, and 6 people have died in that plane crash. That means that Admiral AI is now in the lead as the most hazardous AI with those 6 deaths. Aeroplane crashes are not directly related to their reliability, so servicing them more often won't really get you any better results of whether they're going to crash or not. We've got a new road going in here, a big bridge, and we're connecting up to... No, we're not connecting up to an existing network. Where is this AI going? It's snaking all around this lake. This is a long way... Oh, there. Wow. Kraken AI has gone an interesting route around this water. I mean, going across the middle would have meant a longer bridge, but really that would be so much better than going around all the outside. Now this map is a 512 by 512 map. It's not massive, and it's got some size to it, but I think these 14 companies should fill up this map over the next quarter of a century, which I plan to run the experiment. The Choo Choo AI is complaining it needs money. It's trying to build a rail network, and it's not looking too great on the cash. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. It's got 10 trains already, and in the bank account, finances, it's got 80k, so I think it should be able to afford to build this line. Oh yeah, it's pathfinding, it's trying to do it. I love the little signs that the Choo Choo AI puts up, so you can kind of see in real time what it's trying to do. And there we go, it is doing it right now. Now, none of the AIs have any ships, and that's not surprising because the profit for ships is not very good compared to a lot of the other transport types. But the important thing about ships is you can't have a crash. We can't end up with victims from ships. So any company that invests in that are going to probably have a better safety record. Is it going to crash? Is it going to crash? Is it going to crash? Is it... What, nearly at the steel mill? No, it didn't crash. Okay. This time, instead of roads going over railway lines, over here we've got railway lines going over roads. The road is owned by the Clueless AI, and the railway lines are owned by the Hog AI. And we've had our first years, so let's have a look at those goals. We can see that the Admiral AI Transport Company has had 6 victims altogether, and that's the only crash we've had so far in the first year. However, as the AIs build more and the networks overlap and interlace, I'm sure these goals will start seeing a lot more numbers on them. Oh, we have another plane crash. I think we might have another dupe. Oh, no, it's AI has the crash this time. Let's have a look at the goals. How many crashed in that one? Only 2 people died in that crash. I believe that might be the pilots, in which case I don't think there was anybody on board of that aircraft in terms of passengers, but we do count the pilots and road drivers and train drivers in the victims as well. Watching these vehicles zoom backwards and forwards with the trains occasionally ploughing through makes me wonder how long it's going to be until we get a truck blown up by a train. Now, one of the things that might trip the AI up is the use of the large airports. If you have a large airport, you can get large aircraft. However, if you have large aircraft and you land them at a small airport, like one of these, then the aircraft has a much higher chance of crashing. So maybe we'll see some of the AIs fall for that problem. Oh, and it happened. Here we go. There was a road vehicle crash. A train just ploughed through, and now the train is on its way, completely oblivious that it has just killed a driver. And I think that driver was Admiral AI's driver as well. Let's have a look at the list here. No, it wasn't. It was Kraken. Kraken has had a road accident. It's the first to have a road accident, and that brings our total number of accidents up to 3. Here we see Snake AI building over Choo Choo AI and doing a nice little bridge to prevent accidents. Oh, but we've had another crash. Here we go. A train has just ploughed through, and it is Choo Choo. Choo Choo has just smashed another thing, and this time it looks like it was a bust because 3 people died in that particular incident. Who laid that piece of road? It was Roadrunner who laid that piece of road. Was it one of Roadrunner's buses? And looking at the global goals, we can see, yes, indeed, it was Roadrunner who lost 3 people in that crash. Now we have 4 teams, 4 of the AIs, who have lost people in crashes. This road down here is very busy. It'd be very easy for a train to crash into this many vehicles, but Not Perfect AI has used a bridge. And after just over 5 years, we can see how much of the map is already covered by these AIs. They're sprawling all over the place, and this is only going to get busier and more congested. Now, it will be no surprise to regular viewers that the AAAHOG EX AI is doing way better than all of the others. We see this in a lot of the AI competitions, but if we take that one away, we can see that most of the AIs are all huddled together down the bottom of the graph. And we've had another crash. Another road vehicle has been taken down, and it is by Roadrunner, and Roadrunner is now up to 6 deaths as well. That ties Roadrunner with Admiral AI, who lost its deaths to plane crashes earlier on in the game. And we've had another crash. Oh, it was back down here again. We can see that there are a few different AIs using the same crossing here. This time it's Snake AI that's had a casualty. That brings them onto the leaderboard in 5th place. Oh, this is a big one. We've had a plane crash, and it was a large aeroplane on a large airport. Just because you've got a large airport doesn't mean you won't have crashes still, and this has clogged up the airport, caused delays. We've got one breaking down, and this airport was owned by the Hog AI. 48 deaths. That's going to pull it into 1st place. And another plane crash for the Hog AI. Another 14 people to the victim count there. This is going to be a problem for the Hog AI. Could they be winning in operating profit? And also going to win on the global goals? We'll have to wait to see whether other companies start climbing up that leaderboard as well. We're back to this junction again with another bus being annihilated. This time, the bus is owned by Uber Swarm, and that is the Swarm AI. putting it straight up to 4th place. Another plane crash. This was a small aeroplane at a small airport. They can still crash, and I don't think I've seen an AI fall for the trap of using large ones yet, but I wonder how many more aircraft crashes we're going to have throughout the rest of the experiment. Now, this is a new place to have a crash. I haven't seen one here before. Now, this is interesting because there is a mail stop one side of the railway line, and then there is a bus stop the other. They are by different companies, and another train just went right over the vehicle, just to rub salt into the wounds, and back over here as well. But I think what we can see between these two lines is both of the trains are the choo-choo AI. Now, I've noticed that a lot of these level crossings are here because the choo-choo AI just put tracks across roads. Sure, we're tracking how many victims people have, but at the end of the day, we should also give an honourable mention to the ones that cause the most, which might be different. We'll check that out later in the video. 6 more have been killed on the roads over here. Again, choo-choo AI is the one driving the trains here. Oh dear. The Hog AI has had another plane crash. How many planes does the Hog AI have? 193. That's quite a lot of aircraft. No wonder they're having quite a few plane crashes. If you compare the number of aircraft between the companies that do have aircraft, you can see that the AA Hog EX has nearly 4 times the amount of the next company. That's a lot of aircraft to crash. We've got a new crash on a new crossing here, and this time the road was built by AI, and the train is by Simple AI. Who's to blame here? Yeah, I'm not quite sure. The train track here appears to go over an existing road, and that would make me think that the AI for the train track is trying to go over roads. Then one would assume that here it didn't, probably because the road wasn't there and the road was put in afterwards, in which case this would be the fault of AI. Oh, just changed it to a bridge. Did you see that? I didn't know the AIs could do such a thing. Obviously, the AI has identified that this is a spot where there is a problem, and now we have a line of trucks going over the train. Wow, that's interesting play. I have never seen an AI do that before. Another driver's been killed by the choo-choo AI. Oh, and there goes another one right in front of our eyes. Crashes after crashes after crashes are now starting to come in from all across the world. And as we reach the 10-year mark in this battle experiment, let's have a look at the world map to see how much of the world has been taken over. Yes, so there are a few areas that haven't got a lot of infrastructure in. They're probably where there's hills, but everywhere else is getting even more and more busy, especially tightly packed around the towns and cities. A quick look at the operating profit shows that the Hog AI is running away with things, but what we all want to know is how the victims are coming along. Epic Winning Company has now had 20 victims that came in road accidents, and Admiral AI has had 14, which all came from plane crashes. However, in the lead at the moment is the AA Hog EX with 119 fatalities due to plane crashes. Now, it is worth noting that there are some that haven't lost any passengers yet. Trains AI, choo-choo AI, the AI behind that Phillips & Co company, and the Not Perfect AI all have 0 victims, but some of these I'm sure we'll get some later on. The towns and cities are starting to clog up with traffic. Breakdowns and general congestion cause these sorts of queues, and if these queues cross a railway line, well, that's a recipe for disaster. Hog AI's had another plane crash, this time only 9 perished in it. Now, another thing we have to look out for, as the trains get better and faster, there is more chance that they're going to run over vehicles, because they can get to the level crossing quicker after passing the signal. Here's an interesting one. Railway has built a bridge over the track here, and it looks like they've removed a piece of road too. I'm pretty sure there were quite a lot of accidents here previously, but now with this bridge and the removal of the road, they've sorted it out. Another AI coming in to try and fix the problem, perhaps? Oh, a lot of the road vehicles are starting to snake and have traffic jams around now. All they've got to do is come up to a level crossing and that's going to be a problem. Like this. That's another 120 for the Hog AI. Let's see how the scores are getting on after that. Well, there are now only 3 companies who have not had any victims. And there are a good number of companies that have had 50, 53, 60s, even 90 victims. But out in front right now is the Hog AI with 542. I have no idea what's going on here. It's clear to me that there's some road going over the track, but there's also clear that there's also a bridge right next to it. Why there's been a bridge built and then there's road, I've no idea. Let's have a look and see who owns the road. This piece of road is owned by Kraken, and this bridge is owned by a different AI altogether. So, the railway AI owns the railway line, and the bridge that goes over the railway line. But Kraken owns the road that goes straight over it, causing crashes. And because of the algorithm, well, the vehicles just want to go straight, don't they? Hog AI is still having a hard time of the aircraft. And as we pull into 1970, this draws us just 5 years towards this quarter-century battle. And, well, the crashes are still coming in. There's a crash down here, and now there's a crash over there, and I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon there's another crash. Let's take an opportunity to have a look at the operating profit, and now we can see here that there is another AI pulling above the pack, and that AI is the AI. And the map of the world is a true lattice of infrastructure, all over the place. Absolutely fantastic. And the current standings on the most number of victims? Well, the Hog AI is just under 1,000 victims, all of which have been lost to plane crashes. The AI has had one road accident and loads of plane crashes. Epic Women Company is all road vehicles. There seems to be a big difference between those who do aircraft and those who do road vehicles. Aircraft gets you in the hundreds, while road vehicles seems to be in the tens. Interestingly, there's still a few that have not had any crashes. We'll have a closer look at them and why that might be towards the end. It's clear to me that Choo Choo AI can build bridges and indeed does so over railway track, but just certainly doesn't bother over roads. The towns at this point are getting rather huge, with loads of road vehicles snaking between them all. If we just hide the buildings for a moment, you can see that we have a number of cities all now connected together, intertwined with loads of road vehicles. Every now and then you see a traffic queue, but it's not absolutely horrendous. For the most part, it's flowing-ish. And for the most part, there's a lot of bridges, but not always. 6 die in Fireball. Driver dies. 2 die in plane crash. This could be disastrous. 1 blew up, and there goes another one. This is what happens when you get queues of traffic across the level crossings. Now, we spoke about shipping earlier, and we can see that one company has indeed got some ships. Only 14, and they're not doing anything with passengers, but these are going to be safe from any disasters. All but 2 of the companies have road vehicles. Not Perfect AI and Trains AI don't have any, and that might be why they are near the bottom of the table. However, Simple AI has 145 road vehicles and yet no fatalities. How has this particular company managed to avoid all the possible carnage that could be going on? Is it just luck for them that they have not got a road that they operate on that crosses a railway line? I think it might be. This one's quite a big one. 297 dying from the Hog AI's aircraft there in just one crash. I wonder how many people were on board. Oh, 300 might have been on board? We're getting pretty close to finding out who is going to be our victim champion. But I can see that in the cities we are having even more road queues, loads and loads of depots absolutely all over the place, as well as stations too. It seems that pretty much every town has 2 airports at it, at least any of the big ones anyway. Some of the small ones, just the one there. And some of the airports are quite close to each other. There's one here, there's one here, one here. I hope the aircraft aren't going between these three, because that would be a very short aircraft journey indeed. One company has created a particularly long tunnel. This is a very good tactic to get around lots of infrastructure. And of course, if you've got a tunnel, somebody can't put a railway line over it, can they? Of course, the map is full of tracked spaghetti, but one of the interesting things is, even though we've had lots of crashes like this one here, we haven't actually had a train crash yet. Now you may ask, do the AIs actually have train crashes? Well, the answer is yes, they can have a train crash just the same as any player can. However, it is quite rare. I have seen it happen before, but it doesn't happen very often. Snake AI has had one of its aircrafts crash. I think Hog's got more aircraft, but they do seem to crash all over the place. We've seen a fair few vehicles crash now at this particular intersection, and this has been going on for a good number of years. It was one of the first ones that I noticed in the entire game. So if that's the case, I wonder how many crashed at this particular junction. It would have been very easy to resolve with a simple bridge. Oh, there isn't a bridge over here though, as Choo Choo AI runs over another truck. Here we have another example of trucks using the quick route rather than the safe route. I think if I was a truck driver, I'd be using the bridge. And if you're wondering how many vehicles are on the map, well, here you go. Every little red line is a train. Every little yellow dot is a road vehicle, and all of those white dots, they're the aircraft. The occasional blue dot in the water are ships. Now it might be nice to know, but I'm not going to sit here and count all of them. And now we have to deal with a different sort of crash. AI has crashed its script. It's had a problem of some description, and yet we've got unhandled events, too many vehicles en route, failing, and then having a problem. Now let's have a look. Does that take no, so that keeps the company available, but the script is no longer running, and the company will just stagnate for the last couple of years. Right, we're into the final year of this particular experiment. I've got 3 airports in view here, and it looks like potentially large aircraft are being oh no, that is a small aircraft. Okay, so the AI are not falling into the large aircraft on small airports trap. And there's no level crossings around here, so I don't expect to see any explosions. Although the town is still growing, roads are still being built, and trains are still going all over the place. As we head into the final stages of this madness, the messages are coming in thick and fast. We've had somebody die over here on this level crossing. Unfortunately, they made a bridge over 3 tracks, but the 4th one, they failed to do so. Now we've got another plane crash over here, another 134 dying in a fireball on that runway. We've got another fatality out on the country road over here. I think this is the first time I've seen this particular level crossing have a crash at it. Oh, and there goes the road. The AI has obviously decided that it's not safe enough. I wonder if they'll put that back in with bridges. Let's see. Oh, it looks like they've just decided to go through the town instead, as we have 12 die over here on this level crossing through these towns, this little tiny weird station that has been put in. And that is time. Let's take a quick look at how things went on. First up is the operating profit. No surprise here that the Hog AI did the best, and did the best by far. If we take them away, we can see that AI did okay, and it started to slump towards the end once the script stopped running. And then down beneath that, we have Snake and all the rest of the pack. So if this was a competition for profit, in 3rd place would be Snake, 2nd place would be AI, and in 1st place would be the Hog. But of course, it's not a competition for profit, and we'll have a look at those fatalities soon. First of all, let's take a look at this world map. The AI has done a fantastic job of filling up most of the map in just a very short 25 years. Imagine how busy this could have got with a whole century. Now, if you're sat here wondering, oh, this is good with AI, but imagine what it could be like with humans, especially if they were intending to kill people. Well, that's exactly what I did. I did the Destruction Disaster Deathmatch, and that video came out not long ago. If you're interested in seeing how humans tackled that challenge, check out the link in the video description or in the credits. But finally, here we go. We can see that two companies managed to avoid crashes altogether, having an absolute perfect record. Hats off to Trains AI and Not Perfect AI. Then there was a few that got caught up in a little bit of mess. A few road accidents happened for these companies, and they managed to get between 1 and 26 victims, all the way through Clueless, Kraken and Admiral AI. Roadrunner takes 6th place with 53 victims. Again, all for road accidents, and also from road accidents was 96 victims for Uberswarm. Then things change a little bit. Epic Winning Company managed to have 137 from road accidents, which is quite a large amount compared to some of the other companies. Snake had a lot less accidents by road, but the number of plane crashes they had meant they had 244 victims added to their total for a 3rd place of 268. Amazingly, AI only had 1 road accident, but their plane crashes put them in 2nd place. And not only top of the charts of the profit, but top of the charts of the crashes. With loads and loads of big, heavy plane crashes, 1,566 victims are attributed to the hog. So you may ask yourself, why is it that Not Perfect AI and Trains AI didn't have any crashes? Well, let's have a look at what they were running. If we look at the list of vehicles, you can see here that Trains AI and Not Perfect AI were running railways and didn't have any train crashes. You can see from the vehicles list, they were the only 2 companies not to have vehicles, and this seemed to be a big problem for a lot of the companies. Now, not many tried ships, and Not Perfect and Trains didn't have aircraft, along with a bunch of others. That's how they managed to maintain their brilliant record. So those were the companies that I would definitely not travel on, having the most victims, but we need a grand prize for the most destructive AI, and that is Choo Choo. There were some companies that put road over rail and rail over road. However, Choo Choo takes the award for just not caring about road vehicles whatsoever. Nearly all of their lines just go straight through random roads. Whilst they will build over rivers and rail, they just don't care about roads whatsoever. Every single one of their tracks just goes straight through any road that comes in its way. And if there's a bridge, it's because the road company put it over the railway. So there we have it. Not only do we know which ones are the most unsafe networks in the AIs I've tested today, but Choo Choo is definitely the most villainous, the most evil, the most destructive. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, please do give it a like and put all your thoughts, ideas and questions down in the comments below. If you're new around here, consider subscribing for more trains, retro games and fun stuff like this, as well as tutorials and let's plays. But that's going to be all from me for now. Thanks for watching, take care, check out the Destruction Disaster Deathmatch, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.